Hi. Today was kind of a spur of the moment thing. My guides were like, hey, guess what we want you to do today? And I was like, I was already feeling crappy and low energy and all that stuff. So they whipped my ass into shape for the most part. Nice. Okay. I think I fixed the latency problem too. Where you know how when I do the tarot streams, they kind of are behind like 10 seconds. I think I fixed that, but I'm not sure. We'll see. But anyway, so I'm gonna move this somewhere. Hi guys. So guys, welcome. I gotta make sure my volume on my computer is turned the fuck on. Oh, is that it? No. Alright, okay. I'm good now. I promise. No, I don't promise. I don't know anything. Anyway, okay. So, hi guys, welcome. I'm Emily the Fine Art Medium. And today my guides whipped my ass into shape and they wanted me to talk about our girl Teal Swan here, right? Now, let me just preface this. This is not a hate video whatsoever, okay? This is just my opinion on the subject at hand, right? And I just wanted to talk about some things and experiences that actually correlate to her deck here. This Ether Creatures Oracle deck. Now, you guys, this is not going to be a deck review, okay? I'm not going to show you all the cards. I honestly just wanted to share just a few cards of entities that she has in her deck that I've personally come into contact with myself, right? I wanted to talk about that stuff because actually getting into her cards and seeing some of the entities on it or on them were very validating, not gonna lie. So I want to talk about her too in that kind of way. So, yes. I know some people aren't a fan of her, and then there are some people that are diehard fans of her. So, yeah, it's important. I really wanted to talk about this. But yeah. So, if you do not know about Teal Swan, okay, she is an American spiritual influencer. She is a survivor of satanic ritual abuse and is well known for her controversial views of mental health, describing suicide to be like a reset button, or I should say, unaliving yourself as a reset button. Hopefully, YouTube don't flag me for that. Oops. Yeah. And she has amassed about 1 million loyal followers through her spiritual guidance and books while continuing to lead in the New Age community. So, yeah. I just wanted to give a brief, synopsis, if you will, about her. Just so you know who we're talking about. Plus, some people might not know who she is. So, alright. I wanted to give my take on her first before I get into the deck here, or the creatures that I have recently come into contact with. So, alright. Here's the thing. I believe she has severely suffered through that abuse, right? And I think because of the traumatic abuse, it actually kind of helped her develop some extra sensory skills. And I believe through her trauma, right, and this is just my opinion, guys, take this with a grain of salt, if you will, I think her main goal was to spread awareness through that satanic ritual abuse and, trying to get the truth of what goes on out there in these communities, right? So I think the whole point, what she wanted to do was spread the truth about those things. But the problem is, because she has a past environment of ritual abuse, she's been exposed to very negative and evil vibrational entities. Obviously, it's not her fault, and I would never ever blame someone, for that. Because what happens is negative entities are attracted to, similar frequencies. So if someone's really low in frequency, negative entities are going to be attracted to that. And I firmly believe that, without the proper healing and cleansing, those entities are still going to linger and or remain attached to her, which means she's also going to be influenced by them, right? And I don't think she's aware. Maybe she is aware. I don't know. But I really wanted to talk about her description of demons and what she considers them to be, and how it's kind of a no-no, right? Like, some of what she says is true and accurate, but then you'll see where some of that influence kind of comes in, So she describes demons as the thought form, or the lack of love, or the ultimate manifestation of separation that must take energy from something else. So she further describes them as the inner child who isn't getting their needs met and embody the feeling of lacking. When a person is lacking in something, a demon with that vibrational match of that certain thing being absent forms a parasitic and symbiotic relationship with the host by giving it the ability to attract what it needs or wants through manipulation, while taking the energy of the victim and from the host performing the action. Welcome, Moonlight Awakening. Welcome. I'm glad you could be here. Sorry, I'm reading my notes because I know I'll butcher the shit out of this. So, her solution, right? Her solution is by not depriving the entity of what it wants and giving them all of what they need, aka meet the need, and the person is no longer a match for that demon. The demon should pop off due to the vibrational dissonance. Then, to go a step further, she says, love that demon, take it as yourself. In other words, like, see yourself in that demon and make it aware of source consciousness, the ultimate form of integration. Also, love them and they won't be able to attach. Now, let's talk about the problem, because there's a problem here. So she's right. Entities like that. So let's say, for example, you have a lack of, I don't know, having something you need. So I'm trying to think. Let's use greed, for example, right? So if you didn't get a certain thing or enough of a certain thing, you're going to, try to get as much of it as you can. So with that vibration, that is a negative vibration, right? So it's going to attach an entity or bring an entity to you with that similar vibration. So sometimes it's not always going to be a demon, but sometimes it can be a demon. And so that demon will specialize in getting that need, right? And it'll give the person it's attaching to that ability to obtain it, because it's feeding off of that energetic thing, right? It's trying to feed off that energy to obtain, and yeah, that's why it's symbiotic, but also a parasite, because it's giving the person or the host something in return for the energy it is consuming. Welcome, Lights at Midnight. Wow, welcome. So, yeah, that's why I wanted to talk about this. So, she's right about the vibrational matches and how, you're going to attract the vibrational match, right? That's what's important here. So, she's right about that. She is. However, the thing is, just because you show the entity love doesn't mean it's going to pop off, right? Depending on the entity, even if it's a demonic entity, if you show it love, by, treating it well, right? It could become even more attached and more integrated with that person because you're giving it permission to stay. That's the problem here. So this is where oh my god, Chastity pop off lingo from Teal. Yeah, it is her lingo, but it's true. You're giving it permission to stay, and this is where the influence of Teal Swan and the entities attached to her are messing with her and trying to spin it and manipulate her in a way into believing that that's true. It's not true. I will say that it is important to show things compassion. It is important to do things with love in order to raise your vibration, but you got to be smart when it comes to negative, especially demonic entities, right? Because they will manipulate the crap out of you. Okay? They'll pretend that they're your best friend, but really they're going to stab you in your back. But so that's why I want to talk about this, because she's like convincing people that, if you show love to them, it'll solve your problems, but not necessarily, because the thing is, you got to understand why it's attached in the first place, right? So if it's attached due to severe trauma, well, you got to heal that severe trauma, right? Yeah. So once the healing process has begun, it is also important to note that your vibration will start to raise naturally, right? And to get rid of the attachment, there's a bunch of steps and it takes a lot of time, all right? It's not something that'll just miraculously go away, right? Immediately, anyway. It takes time. It takes time to heal yourself, right? But it's also important that you declare that you do not want this thing attached to you, and you have to ask for divine guidance, okay? That is key, because you're not going to be getting it off of yourself by yourself. It takes divine guidance and divine assistance. And by doing that, it creates a boundary too, because when you do that, it's telling the thing that it is not allowed to do or to, attach to you. And yeah, that's important. You got to establish boundaries. And then cleansing yourself and your space. So that can be done through Reiki, smudging, deliverance, exorcisms, etc. And I'm not going to go through like major details of that. If you want to learn about that, honestly, just go on Lights at Midnight podcast. Right, Chastity? We actually did a video, or I should say an episode. I think it was not the one that came out today, but the day before that, where we actually talk about getting rid of attachments and hauntings and stuff. So I recommend listening to that. And if you need to go find it, literally go into my playlists and you'll see all the episodes of the podcast. So that is important. All right. So to the major thing I want to talk about, right? Yes, there Em and I go through a lot more in-depth info. Yes. So we definitely go through a lot of information when talking about these things. But so let's get to the fun part, and that has to do with her deck here, Ether Creatures, Oracle cards. And I wanted to go through the 7 entities that I actually have come into contact with personally, right? So I wrote my notes down on this paper, okay? Because, like I said, I'm not confident that I'm going to remember everything, right? Like the description she gives in her books for these things. So I wanted to go through some of these. So she lists Baphomet, Angel, Dragon, Orb. I don't have them out here because honestly, I don't want to show you all of the cards in the deck. I want to leave that to Chastity because she's going to be doing a review on her channel at some point. So just stay tuned for that video. But so I did come into contact with Baphomet and some of his proxy demons that, you know, tried to attack me. And I did have a video that I made about that probably a few months ago. So you can go back and watch that video. Angels, I talk about them all the time. I've come into contact with Archangel Michael, Archangel Gabriel. I think those are the two main ones that I have. She has a dragon in her deck, which I've come into contact with a few dragons. And I think, again, I've mentioned that in another video. So I'm not going to go into depth with those because I don't want to have to repeat again. And people be like, oh my god, you've already talked about this. And, you know, just be too repetitive. And then orbs. I feel like a lot of people have seen orbs. I feel like that is the most common thing that people have seen. But so, now, goblins. I know I mentioned a little bit about that in previous videos, but I wanted to share her take on goblins. So this is the card of goblin that she has. I'll use this camera too. This is the goblin card, right? So she describes it as a humanoid beings usually correlated with the gnome race, usually around 4 feet tall with greenish skin and sharp teeth. The only ones that I've seen, they were red. The description matched pretty much exactly, except the color was different. The ones I've come in contact with were red. So yeah. And the exact experience that I had with these, welcome Maddie. The exact experience I had with there were two goblins actually. So when I was still living in my parents' house, and this is when my room was in the basement, peak haunting, right? I was attacked on the astral realm by these 2 4-foot goblin looking things that were red, and they were tying me up. Kind of reminds me of how, like, in cartoons, they tie up whatever in a rope and they dangle them from a tree. It was literally the same thing, but I was being dangled from the ceiling as they were, like, hitting me and beating me and making fun of me and stuff. I remember breaking free and then trying to, like, you know, fight them. But on the astral realm, every time I would make contact, their bodies would go poof into red smoke. And I did that a few times until eventually some of that red smoke went up into my body and down my throat. And I remember having severe stomach pain and throwing up on the astral realm. And I remember the pain was so severe that I actually woke up with the same stomach pain. So, and I've noticed too, when negative entities try to possess me or try to infiltrate my aura or body, they try to go down my throat in this smoke form. And usually I always cough them up, but I mean, the residual energy from that still causes damage within my energies and my chakras in my physical body. So that's why I got sick and always get sick from when things like that happen, even with other entities. So that was this goblin one here. All right, next one. Let's see. She has the Natito bugs. I have absolutely experienced this. Actually, it wasn't until a few months ago that I've experienced entities just like this. So this is what she says about them. Insect-like beings that are typically colorful and exist in swarms. They feed off of illness on any level of another being's existence. They take it from you and heal the body. So, as I go through this, you're going to notice a correlation. So she says they're good. Goblins, does she say they're good? I don't think she says they're good or bad, but she says these are good. Personally, the ones that I've come in contact with, and I'm not saying she's right or wrong. It's all about perception and how we view our own experiences. So, my experience with this entity, was not really good. And I've seen it within the last few months, right? I've seen it attached to other people, and it was more parasitic and siphoning their energy. Actually, I think it was like a week or two ago, I felt something following me at work. And I turned around and I got a quick, like, flash. And I saw this face, and I was just like, what the hell is that? And I felt my energy being drained. And then I remember actually doing a YouTube live, like one of my reading, like the tarot reading lives that I do, and I saw it attached to somebody in the group chat. So I personally don't think they're good, right? All right, the next one. Which one we got? I want to do the praying mantis one. Praying mantis one, right? The El Kagan. I don't know if I said that right. I don't know. But if you guys, have watched, I think my last live I did, I actually saw this. Maddie, it might have been you. And welcome to Lone Rose. Sorry I haven't been looking at the, Twitch side here. I forgot I have Twitch and YouTube and one's on each side. But welcome, Twitch friends. The Lone Rose, Monkus, welcome. I'm glad you guys could be here. But yeah. So I don't know if it was with you, Maddie. It could have been someone else, but it was the same live you were in. But I saw this entity, and I don't know if I have that paper still. Do I have the paper still? Because my trash is right here. Oh, I think I ripped that one up. So, anyway. Wait, saw what? That was me. Okay, it was you. This is what I saw. And I didn't realize that this was an actual entity in this deck. And then I was like, wait a minute. That looks familiar. This is what I saw. So this is what she describes this entity as. A mantis being or the doctors. They are master healers. They typically work in a collective but can be seen alone with the intent to help heal. So I don't know if this thing is good or bad. I'm sure there's a duality to many entities, and some are good and some are bad of the same species or race or what have you. But I saw this in complete darkness. Whoops, wrong side. I saw this entity in a hooded, like, it was like this, but hooded, but it was black hood, and it was just surrounded by black energy. So to me, I associate, when I see black energy like that, I associate that with a negative vibration. So, again, she's saying it's good, but, was very sus in my opinion. Maybe it just don't like me. No, I don't think it's a good entity, to be honest. At least that specific one. So, let's move on to the next. So now this one, the Nalusa Philea. It sounds like I'm saying, like, fillet, like a steak. So that's this one she has in the deck. Sorry for the shiny glare on the cards. But I've seen this. And you know what's very interesting too? When I was doing the Let's Create Weird Creatures live, right? With the Wonder AI, it created, I think it might have it in the thumbnail of that video, but it created this. I'm pretty sure. I thought that was weird. But, so she describes that as a single spirit allegedly known by other cultures as Anko, Shinigami, or the Grim Reaper. A thought form created by the collective consciousness of mankind. Its purpose is to remind people of death or morality in order to whip people into shape and living life with purpose. I disagree. I've met Reapers. I actually know Reapers. that did not give me a Reaper vibe. So the encounter that I had with this entity, I keep showing it backwards, damn it, was very brief and quick, you know? But from an energetic standpoint, it felt very ominous, but weightless, like it was harmless, but not enough. It felt weightless and just, but the energy of it was very dark, if that makes sense. Like I said, midnight. Damn shiny UV coating, always a challenge on camera. It is. So, Twitch peeps, welcome. Also want to say this isn't tarot today. We're not doing readings. I was just sharing experiences. But so yeah. I'm trying to think. There was another experience I had, but I can't remember it now. God damn it. Oh, my neighborhood. Duh. So, when I walk Ghost, right, I see all sorts of stuff, like, just doing their thing, right? They're just either in houses or just walking on the street. I've seen that. I've seen that a few blocks down. I swear to God. So, anyway, it didn't really pay me any mind. It kind of just did its own thing. It was weird. Honestly, it kind of felt like, too, a collection of negative energy that formed its own entity, and it created this. So, I don't know. You got chased, too, right? Oh, yeah, I did get chased on the street, but it wasn't by that. It was by something else. We'll get to that. So, the next one. Yeti. All right. I've experienced more so the Bigfoot Sasquatch version of this, right? I still wanted to include it because I feel like it's similar. One's just like in snow regions, I guess. I could be wrong. But, so, her definition is interdimensional being that stays mostly physical, manifested on the earth plane. They seem to be mixed in intention. Some are good, some are not good, so that is my take on that. I feel like there are some that are good and some that are not good. My experience with a Bigfoot or Sasquatch, whatever you want to call it, it's fine. So it was more chill, and I had tapped onto the astral realm and happened to meet him by just chance, I think. It was the brown one. The energy seemed really peaceful and curious and very, like, sorry, I'm trying not to, like, have an acid reflux moment. The energy was very calm and peaceful and nice. Like, if I had the opportunity, I wouldn't mind spending more time with the Sasquatch dude because he was pretty cool. And it was just very calm and relaxing and just, like, talking to each other, trying to get information about each other, like, oh my God, I do this and I do that kind of stuff. So I thought that one was pretty cool. Next one is the Kikarot. I think I made a video about this one too. I don't remember at this point. So they say, creature of the non-physical plains of the desert, allegedly not predatory, but is nocturnal and extremely territorial and solitary, contains a sacred substance that is nutrient-dense, life force feeding. So, okay. So the one that I saw was very similar shape. Its face had white markings though. It was in the plains of like a desert, but when I came into contact with this, I was in a cage, like a large cage. Like the cage was the size of a house, and I was in it with a spirit friend, and that thing was on the outside. So it tried to get to us while we were in the inside. It was so weird. I didn't understand the purpose of it, to be honest. Yeah. So it looked like that. We were in the desert area, and I don't know if it was just like a learning experience that they put me through to be like, hey, this exists. But it was not at nighttime. It was during the day. And that thing was nasty. That thing was big. That thing was like probably the size of like 2 elephants, maybe even 3. It was massive. But I'm noticing a correlation to some of these things on here that she's saying is good, and the experiences that I've had were not good. And could it be part of the influence of the negative entities that are still attached to her? Perhaps. Or it could just be a difference in perception. I do not know. Next one is the Iktomi spider thing. Right? Alright, so guys, if you know me, I talk about spider entities all the time because that is like the most common entity that I come in contact with. So this one is a humanoid spider entity created from the thought form of humans possessing the medicine of a spider, once a trickster but no longer. Whatever. Listen. Not all spider spirits are evil. Let me just say that. Okay? Because you do have spirit guides that are spiders that are good, right? And are peaceful. However, with spider entities, it's kind of like a 50-50 chance. And so far, my chances have not been good with it. So, I actually had been somehow captured on the astral realm, and I don't think I've ever spoke about the story in this amount of detail that I'm about to get in, but I'm going to get into some things here that are not good, and viewer discretion is advised. So if you have any trauma and abuse and stuff, perhaps maybe you might want to skip ahead a few minutes. Oh, you can't because this is live. Maybe pause and wait, I guess, and then skip ahead. But so, in this encounter, I was being rounded up with other girls, right? Other females. And we were in chains, and we were being brought to this cavern thing. And TMI, but we were stripped of our clothes, and you can kind of figure out what happened next. It wasn't good. It was bad. Very fucking bad and painful. That's all I'm gonna say in terms of that detail. But this thing was massive, okay? This thing was the size of, like, I would say a massive house. Like a 2-story house. Maybe even a 3-story house. This thing was massive. It was black and white. It had, like, chest and higher was like that of a person, and then the abdomen and lower was that of a spider, and it had the spider legs, and it abused all the girls that were there, and it was terrifying and it was bad. And yeah, that was one of the worst experiences that I've ever experienced myself. It was terrible. So, yeah, spider entities and when I come in contact with them, I know they're not there for me for good, cuz I feel like if a spirit guide wanted to teach me a lesson that with like of a spider spirit, I don't think they would, just because of the abuse that I had encountered. Because the whole point of like spirit guides and stuff like that is to make sure you are comfortable and safe. And if you've had a past in that could stir up some bad things, they're not going to do it because they want you to feel safe. So they already know that I'm very on alert with spider entities. And so that's how I know that the ones that I'm coming in contact with are not good. So that's why I wanted to talk about this abomination, really. What do I have left? Did I have that on here? I think that was it. Yeah. I feel like there was one more, but I could be wrong. No, I think that was it. I don't know why I have this other one here. But anyway, those are the ones that I have personally come in contact to. Now, upon opening and looking at this deck, and I'm just putting these cards back, I did have some experiences that were not good. And maybe you could say it might not have anything to do with the deck, but I don't know. It's just the timing is very, like, suspicious. So let me switch over and make sure my multi-stream chat is coming through here, because I'm going to have to flip off my phone. And for whatever reason, it's not. I only see the Twitch side. But, alright, let me go into my notes here, because I always keep a log of my astral experiences and my dreams and stuff. So I'm going to go in there real quick. And just go through these. I had some weird ass shit happen. I'm not even kidding. And yeah, Chastity brought up the time that I got chased down the street. I don't know if it was in correlation to the deck, but I'll just share the experience. I forget exactly, actually, if that specific thing was. So, I was walking Ghost, as, you know, as I do, like 50 times a day, because he is a super duper pooper, right? And I see this guy in the corner, and he's being really sus, like, trying to, like, hide behind the pole, smoking a cigarette, thinking I won't see him, but, dude, like, it's so obvious, but also he's being very sus anyway, so then it's kind of like, now he's really obvious. And, yeah, so I'm walking Ghost. I don't pay any mind to it, because I'm just like, he's probably there trying to sell drugs, what have you. Like, where I live, that's a common thing, right? So, I'm walking Ghost. All of a sudden, I feel like there's something chasing me. I turn around, and there's this black shadow thing chasing me down the street, right? It came from that guy. I know it did. So, I immediately put up the barrier. I'm like, hell no, we're not doing this. I'm trying to get my dog to take a crap. Like, I'm not doing it. It's cold. Screw this, right? So, I do my barrier, whatever. It kind of, like, has its distance then. Ghost does his business. I start coming back up the same street. And, you know, I see the shadow go back to the guy. But the shadow, when it went back to the guy in the corner smoking the cigarette, he literally had the legs of a goat. So when that shadow then connected with that person, it literally gave the appearance of his lower half being that of a goat. It was freaky, which is interesting because she's got Baphomet in the deck. So you know what, Chas? I think it might have been in correlation, now that I think about it. But we all know Baphomet is the goat demon thing. So, yeah. I believe it might have been in relation to it. So, yeah. Fucking creepy. My neighborhood is like a cesspool of negative shit. It really is. So, now I'm going to go back to my journal. So, I just want to make sure that I read the right thing. So, sorry, I'm just reading through it really quick because I want to make sure I got the right one. Oh. Okay. So let me get down. I gotta make a separate video of some of these experiences. All right. Okay, yeah. So it was like right after going through this deck, and I'm just gonna read from my log here because There's a lot. Chastity, give me a sec and I will get the name of that entity in my research. There is one particular one that can look like a human, but keeps it goat feet. Oh, okay. Alright, so I was on the Astral Realm, so this is like January 21st, right? And on the Astral Realm was some dude. Okay, so this entity tried to trick me into thinking that it was my boyfriend. However, you know, I'm not stupid, and I knew immediately that shit was not right. So, I'm at my one aunt's place, and, you know, I had another friend there. So, shocked the entity was evil, duh, right? Like, okay, negative entities, especially evil ones, like to, pretend that they're people that you know, trying to get your guard down so they can do whatever nefarious things they are planning, if you know what I mean. So, yeah. But, okay, so I have an astral inception situation where I kind of fall asleep, but I'm still in the astral realm, and I fall asleep, and spirits, it's so weird. It's like a layer of astral realms and dream realms and all at the same time. And so the spirits on that plane were warning me that this thing was evil and pretending to be somebody that I trusted. And so they showed me this diary book of him and his brothers or minions that looked demonic, and taking and hunting their victims. So they had on this scary black and silver, like, spiky armor. It almost looked like Sauron from the Lord of the Rings. Like in the regular Lord of the Rings movie, not the thing that was just released on Amazon Prime or whatever. So I confront it. It attacks me because, you know, he knows that I know. And, you know, I have friends on the astral realm that try to help and protect me, but they get their butt beat, right? Blood's dripping everywhere. I grab the heel of one of my boots to defend myself, to, like, you know, get him in the head, and fight him off. Meanwhile, something weird is happening. My head feels weird, like it's morphing into something. I don't know what it is, right? The ambulance is called, and, you know, one of the people that was helping me, you know, got injured. So I was like, take care of that person first. And it's not really an ambulance. Ambulance is kind of like whatever they have on the astral realm, because they do have doctors on the astral realm that help you with severe things like this. So I don't know what the hell happened, but, you know, my head started morphing into what felt like a worm. And you guys might laugh, but it was scary and traumatizing. And I felt pressure in my head, and I see in the reflection of, like, the metal in the place I'm at, there's a big bulging eye coming out of my forehead. And it was creepy and scary, and I didn't like it. And so the doctors or the medics tried to fix whatever the entity tried to do to me. They said a parasite entered my body, and they were working on fixing it. They gave me this liquid stuff and poured it down my throat. I asked if this will cure me, and they said, we shall see, but if anything happens, to call them and get myself back there ASAP. It was scary. I am then taken to this bougie, like, penthouse thing inside a building that looked like an upscale apartment building. In this house, there's cool bathrooms, and, yeah. And then there's, like, these guides there that are kind of like parental figures, just, like, making sure I'm safe. So it was fucking weird. And Chas, found it in my research, and I wonder if it is in Teal Swan's deck. I will find. Yeah, if you look at number 18, Chas, that card is number 18, the Baphomet one, but you should just see what it says. Oh, here's another one. It was so weird. This was on the 19th of January. So, this young female child, right? Dark in complexion. She almost looks like the sister of... I can't think of the guy's name on Stranger Things. The basketball kid. I forget what his name is, I'm sorry. But she kind of looks like her, but not completely, right? But so, another thing. So, okay. It was around Christmas time. She was envious of what people were getting for Christmas. That she found a spell on an app that she read out loud 5 times. During Christmas, she kept getting presents she really wanted. However, bad things kept happening. Swords kept flying into the glass, sliding doors, and would pierce partially through it. So, and other debris were crashing into the doors and the windows, and glass was shattering everywhere. People were getting injured. It was really scary. So bad things kept happening. It was very traumatic. People were getting seriously injured. And once I figured out there was a spell involved, I messaged my friend V immediately to see if she could help me reverse it. She then flies down and hands the girl 2 gifts that stopped the violent activity. It was a pair of red crystal dangling earrings and something else. And then it's weird because time kind of elapsed really fast, and it made it years went by, and I found out that wasn't actually V. It was somebody else posing as her. And then she later admits that she never answered the phone when I called her for help, and that wasn't her that flew down here. It was really weird. And then I met the girl that, went and did those spells and told her, don't do that again because it was bad. So, yeah, it was fucking weird. Let me see. There's some more. There's a lot of things. Okay, maybe not that one. Yeah, I think that was it for that. Oh, I also felt like something cold-cocked me in the face. So that's another thing. I think it was the night of that I opened the deck. I felt somebody, punch me in the face. Sucker punch me. And I was like, what the hell is that? And, yeah. So, I don't know. Alright, so what is Chastity saying? So the Baphomet wouldn't be it because the way she explains it, it is that it holds the medicine of balance. Oh. So, okay, it's not that same entity. It's just interesting how, that person, when that shadow went to the person, it looked like a goat with the goat legs. So, take it how you want, I guess. But, yeah, I just wanted to, share that. And I just feel like, vibrationally, Teal Swan is lower because she hasn't gone through all of the healing that she needs. And because of that, some of that trauma, a lot of that trauma is still lingering. And it's causing those attachments to stay. Plus, if you go in with the thought process of, if I love them and, or give it all at once, it'll go away. It's not gonna go away. So, yeah. I thought this would be an interesting, live to share all those experiences, especially about Teal Swan. But, yeah. So, guys, do you have any thoughts, comments, concerns, I don't know, experiences you want to share? Anything? I know that was a lot to digest. So, anyway. Pretty much, yeah. I got through all my notes. That was a lot, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, when I was, so today, I felt like garbage, and pretty much it felt like all the energy was zapped from me today, and my stomach it still hurts. It hurts so bad in my left side, and, you know, the last 2 days, 3 days actually, I just felt like my energy's been zapped, like, severely. But then all of a sudden, like, I'm in bed, it's like, I don't know what time it is, like 5 or 6 o'clock, and all of a sudden, I hear, hey, you should cover Teal Swan real quick. Naked Alive. And I was like, what? And they're like, no, seriously, like, do it. Like, this, and this. Like, the thing with her, idea of suicide being a reset button. Oh, that's also what I wanted to talk about. Oh, what did Liza Midnight say? It says that a ghoul entity is the one with the goat feet and an offspring of Satan. It distracts people that are traveling out walking and attacks them and eats them. Ha 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 ha. You're funny. This is from some research that I did for the next Lights at Midnight episode, but the travel part was interesting. Oh, what the fuck? Oh yeah, I have to talk to you about that still. Glad you feel better now. Oh my god. Bro. Okay, so the thing I want to talk about too, I almost forgot about it. The suicide, or the unaliving yourself as a reset button. No. Okay, so reincarnation exists, and I personally believe that one person, so there are multiple souls of multiple beings, right? So, actually, I'm going to draw this stuff out really quick, because the best way is to do it that way. So, alright. You have a soul, right? This is one main soul. Now, the person has certain things that they gotta learn. So, for example, let's do love. Let's do trust as another branch. Let's do, I don't know, traumas. Probably spelled that wrong. And for another example, let's do like, I don't know. Let's do cancer or something. Like something traumatic, right? So here, I'm going to rip this off. Alright. Here we have branches, right? So what happens is, it's like you have all these other beings being created, right? So it's like the soul is kind of branches off into separate or other beings, right? To learn these things, such as love, trust, traumas, and illness. We'll just say illness, right? Maybe cancer is a little too specific, but the whole point is to learn it, and then eventually all that information then comes back to the one main soul of the being, right? So you also have like past lives. You have higher self. And then you have all these other versions. And guys, please listen to the episode we released today on Lights at Midnight about dimensions and metaverse and realms and all that stuff, because it'll actually make this make even more sense. So this is the thing. So one soul branches off into many, many other souls to learn whatever they need to learn, and then eventually that information then comes back, kind of like I don't know, Naruto comes to example, him and his clones, you know, he did his trainings, and I don't know, once all his clones were destroyed, everything that he learned came into one. Like, that's the biggest, like, example there, right? And so this is kind of how that works, right? So then you have your past lives and your higher self. They're giving you information to help you learn certain experiences and stuff. So when it comes to the reset button, right? Unaliving yourself isn't necessarily the reset button, because first of all, you're cutting that lesson or that life short. But the thing is, each one of these is it's still its own separate soul. Even though it kind of comes into this, it's still a separate soul, a separate life. So what makes you you then would not exist anymore. Okay? So that's why, you know, it's not actually a reset button, because then your existence is gone. Okay? It's actually very sad and tragic when people do that. And it is not helping you. So I just wanted to cover that really quick, because what she said about that is very preposterous, and actually has gotten her in some big trouble, because one of her clients did end up committing, you know, unaliving herself. And yeah, and she got in some major hot water. So yeah, guys, I don't know if you're a fan, if anyone's a fan of her, I wouldn't listen to that advice, because it's not true. Because even though you kind of merge into one big collective, what makes you you and separate no longer exists. So hopefully that makes sense. Let's see, what did Moonlight Awakening say? I have weird experiences in this house that I'm staying. I kind of want to share in your podcast one day, and some from Mexico. Girl, we would love to have you on. Seriously. Yeah, and Chassie's right. So yeah, she says we'd love to have you on. We are getting ready to make PDF invitations with information, stuff to send out. Send us your email and our Instagram, I can't talk. Send us your email on our Instagram and we can chat for sure. So yeah, absolutely. And Moonlight Awakening, I never resonated with her. She naturally has a low vibration, and it's sad because I feel like she could have. She's done some good, okay? I can't negate that, because she has helped other people, but at the same time, there are some things that made it like she's made things worse for other people for sure, when it comes to attachments and stuff and not helping them. So that's why it's kind of like, you gotta watch. You gotta watch with that one. So, yeah. I understand her thought process, but it's wrong. Lights of Midnight. I feel she does too. There's no light in her eyes. When you look into her eyes, I see blank. I do too. And it's so sad, honestly. She is a beautiful person, and all of the things that she has gone through, all those traumas, and all the experiences could be used to help other people. And in some ways it has, but like I said, there's some negative influence there with some of the things she says. For example, with the whole reset thing, and then, you know, the stuff that she says about demonic entities and how to get them to pop off. Not great. So, yeah. It's a little bananas. So, Yokito, hi! Well, today we're not doing readings, but save your questions, for the next time I do them, because I try to do them at least once a month, and if I have spare time, I'll try to do them extra times in a month. Turning into a cultish vibe with some of her followers, not all of them, but some. Well, that's the thing, though. It's hard because it's like, when someone gets really famous, they're going to have fans. However, some people take it beyond that, right? Some people take it beyond that. And I think that's part of the problem. And now, being any kind of spiritual leader or someone that guides people through their spiritual things, it doesn't look good, and it can become culty. So it's kind of like you gotta set up proper boundaries in order for that not to happen, and you have to make it known within that community that, certain activities and certain behaviors is not tolerable. So it's kind of like, you just gotta watch, because sometimes too the power goes to people's heads and the fame and fortune and stuff. So it's always good to always pay attention to that stuff, especially if you are an influencer and you're making it to the top really quick. It's always good to humble yourself, or keep yourself humbled, and remember where you started from. If it's a negative perspective, people comb through the internet and find videos about her and shows their crazy, yeah. If it's a negative perspective, yeah, that's for sure. Faux shizzle. So yeah, it is important, you guys, when it comes to, if you're someone trying to learn spiritual things and you're looking for somebody to teach you things, it's always good to learn from multiple people, because everyone has different perspectives, right? And you don't want to just learn from one main person. It's also good to learn from your own personal experiences and dissect them and go through each one and be like, okay, well, what happened here? What did I learn? How could I view it on this angle or this angle? So it's always good to, look at different perspectives of things. So, yeah. Yas. I'm trying to think if I got everything. I didn't watch her documentary yet. I really want to, but like I said, Chast and I, or Luna Beams and I, are trying to work together when it comes to content here. So we're not sharing the same things. We're trying to work together when it comes to putting out information, so that our information works with one another's, right? So you're not getting the same thing on both channels. But also trying to share new insights on our podcast. So, Lights at Midnight made some matcha, spiritual matcha. Yeah. I like Wawa's matcha refresher. Once in a while. I have to have a taste for it. But once in a while I do get a hankering for it, and it is good. So, yeah. Guys, if you have any comments, concerns, now would be a good time. Because if you don't, I'm actually gonna get off here. Yeah, especially when we overlap and maybe even tie some stuff into the podcast moving forward. Yeah, so the goal here with my channel is, of course, I'm going to share my experiences and stuff, but, we're trying to integrate our content into the podcast, because at the end of the day we're kind of one entity at this point. We're our own, like, I don't know. Lights at Midnight is our love child. Teamwork makes the dream work. Abso-friggin-lutely. So, guys, stay tuned. I got some more experiences to share in the future. But yeah, I wanted to, come on, do a live. We want to create an overall experience. Yeah, from different perspectives. An immersive experience. Kind of like the immersive, like, art exhibits, but, like, paranormal. I know, I'm a little weird. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm sorry. So, with that said, I think I'm gonna get off here. So, thank you guys for who, stuck around, chatted with me, and, we had a great conversation. Thank you, Twitch side. Thank you, YouTube side. I love all of you guys, and I'm still trying to get our goal of subs to 1,111. That's more so on YouTube, so I can do my freaking giveaway, okay? If you don't know about me, and if you're new, and if you're still here somehow, and you watch this entire video, I'm just gonna tell you again anyway. I like to do giveaways. Moon Awakening knows, because she was the winner of the last one, okay? I like to do giveaways, okay? So please, we need to get to our 1,111 subs, right? I got a cool book, okay, that I want to give away. I almost pulled everything down forward. Let me grab it. Okay. Look. Listen, guys. I have this book. The Exorcist. Okay? It's signed by Linda Blair. It is a 1971 first edition. Right? Here's the certificate of authenticity. Right? Let me give it away to some lucky person. But, like I said, we gotta hit our 1111 number. Okay? Lights at Midnight. I'm winning it! Hey, you know what, Jazz? You might. You never know. It's still in the freaking plastic. Well, anyway. But yeah. So, somebody is gonna win this book once we hit that sub amount. So, that's why we gotta get the subs up, you guys. What else? Oh, if you want readings by me, go on Patreon or, what the fuck? Oh, my website, which is usually my description. So if you want, like, a personal, like, reading, and I'll go in depth, or if you're having haunting issues and you need help, I will spend as much time as we need to get the job done, okay? So keep that in mind. And also, if you noticed, in the top of my video here, I have an announcement. I'll be putting my announcements up there from now on. But next Patreon Mediumship Practice Circle is on February 6th at 7 p.m. EST on Patreon-only Discord. So, to join, you just got to become a patron, which is $1 if you want to, don't want to spend too much money, $1. And we have fun times, and we do mediumship practice. And yeah, if you want to strengthen your abilities, figure out what they are, get advice, it is a great group to join. So, anyway, Chastity, need to make a short on TikTok and spread it just about the giveaway. Just saying, good idea. Yeah, that is true. I should. I'll make another one. But guys, remember, I know there's another person that really wants this book. And he always comments, like, I'm gonna get that book. Well, if you want that book, you gotta help me get up to the sub count. Okay. Now I'm done. Guys, have a super special, awesome day or night or afternoon, wherever you are in the world if you're watching this. Thank you guys so much. I love you guys so much. And peace out.